Okay, so in this video we're going to run the high-aerosol experiment for the cloud in a bottle cloud brightening experiment. Again, just like the last video for the low aerosol experiment, I'm going to run through kind of how it progresses when we're going to take measurements. That way, when we're actually making the cloud, you'll be able to follow along much more easily because it does progress kind of rapidly. So the first thing we're going to do is add a ½ ounce of water to our plastic bottle. Just kind of swish it around so that the moisture touches all the interior surface of the bottle. Then with the high aerosol experiment, we're going to spray hairspray in 10 times and then quickly cap with the valve and rubber stopper plug. So again, what I like to do is have the hand pump already attached securely to the rubber stopper plug. That way it helps with capping as well as pulling off the stopper. For this hand pump, 15 pumps, full pumps, gets the bottle highly pressurized and will help create that cloud when you pull the plug. If you use a different hand pump, I would recommend kind of trying out how many pumps it will take to get the cloud to form and to have a pressurized bottle. You certainly want to proceed with caution as you do that. Okay, so once we have a cap, we have the aerosols in it, we have the water in it, we have it capped, we have it pressurized. We're going to move it into its location, 5 inches in front of the light meter, the lux meter, and then pull the plug. And once you pull the plug, you're going to get a cloud. And right away, you want to be recording what that lux meter reading is, because the cloud will soon dissipate after that. And we're going to leave the bottle in place until the cloud completely dissipates and there's no vapor cloud inside of the bottle anymore. That's so we can then get a recording of the lux meter reflectance off the bottle without the cloud in it. So, there'll still be some water in the bottom, but that won't impact the reflectance. But what will impact the reflectance is some of the hairspray that we sprayed in that didn't go into making the cloud will be attached to the interior surface. So we want to be able to eliminate that effect. Okay, so we will go ahead and start by adding our half an ounce of water. This again is just room temperature water. Add it to the bottle, and then again just move it around so it touches the interior surface of your bottle. And then we're going to add 10 sprays of hairspray. And then quickly cap. Now we're going to proceed with the 15 pumps, and then I'll move it into position, and soon after that we'll pull the plug and make the cloud. Okay. Get the lux meter on, and there's a cloud. We'll step back so we can get a recording. It's about 25, 26 perhaps. So let's write that down and wait for the cloud to disappear. So you can see it slowly moving around there, and it'll slowly dissipate out the top. It does take, a minute or two for this to happen, so if you want to proceed to the next trial, you can. Just make sure that you mark down, maybe put the number of the trial underneath the bottle. That way you can link up both the lux meter reading with the cloud and then the bottle without the cloud reading. So continue to let this come out. Looking pretty good. Let me just take a little inspection. Yeah, so it looks like the cloud has come out, so we're going to take our hand away and then see what the final reading is, which is about 15 or 16. We'll call it 16. Okay, so what this then demonstrates is the cloud, the reading when the cloud first formed was 25 lux, and then after the cloud dissipated and we took the reading again, we are at 16. So that's about a 9 lux difference, okay, that was caused by the cloud. So in this experiment, the high aerosol experiment, the lux change, or the lux due to the cloud was 9. In the low aerosol experiment, the lux change was due to the cloud was 6. So they might not be large numbers, but between going from 6 to 9 is quite a significant increase in percentage-wise. It's about, you know, half more than 6 would be up to 9. So run these trials for both the high and low at least 4 times, up to 10 times. You should have plenty of data, and you'll be able to compare the average lux reflectance due to the cloud from the low aerosol experiment versus the high aerosol experiment, and you should see a difference between those two. And then with the Excel page that I provided, you can calculate some statistics such as standard deviation, and even if you want to challenge your students with a t-test, you can demonstrate how we can calculate whether or not the change between the low aerosol experiment and the high aerosol experiment is statistically significant.